Hi, everybody. Welcome. My name is Meredith. Welcome to Metta practice. I'm glad to be back here tonight for practice with everybody. For anybody who's new to meditation or new to sitting here at the Dharma Bum Temple, welcome. I'm glad you're here. And if you have any questions as we proceed, please feel free to ask. I'll do my best to explain things as we go. This meditation is guided, so you're going to hear my voice a lot, but it also includes some silent space to allow you to settle in. In this type of meditation, we center our attention on the silent repetition of phrases instead of anchoring our attention to our breath. And with this type of meditation, it's not uncommon sometimes to have feelings arise as we practice, especially if we're new to this type of practice. Sometimes we can feel a little bit of awkwardness or even some discomfort, and that's okay. It's not unusual. So what I'd like for you to know about this practice before we get started is that it's really flexible. So there's really no need to spend time struggling or feeling frustrated or anxious. Just try to recognize whatever you're feeling if something comes up and just allow it to be there. Maybe even see if you can notice if your feelings start to change or actually disappear when you sit with them for a little bit. Just give yourself the time and the space to be curious about what you're feeling rather than judge what you feel. I promise it won't make you a bad meditator. So when we practice metta, the first recipient of loving kindness in our meditation is ourselves. We always start with ourselves because we're building a foundation of self-compassion. And if we can't extend goodwill and patience to ourselves, then we can't authentically extend it to others. So we start with ourselves and we meet ourselves wherever we're at. So just be patient with yourself and be kind to yourself tonight. Give yourself the space to sit with anything that might arise within you and know that whatever arises is absolutely okay. If you feel any difficulty or resistance, just recognize that's what's happening. And instead of trying to arm wrestle anything, just let it evolve. For me, more and more I'm coming to appreciate the practice of just becoming aware of what's arising during meditation. The phrases that we use to guide us through the meditation are also flexible. That means that you can adjust them if you feel necessary so they feel more authentic to you. And for those of you that have sat with me before, you're probably going to notice that I'm making an adjustment tonight to the phrases that I normally use. So, if during the meditation you find that your mind has wandered off, just like in any other meditation, you can gently bring your attention back and focus just to silently repeating the phrases to yourself. I also think it's worth mentioning before we get started, something that tends to come up a lot for people during this type of practice is a bit of confusion around feelings and the people that I'm going to ask you to call to mind as we go through the stages of the meditation. Particularly when I guide you to think about a person you have a difficult relationship with or a group of people that you find difficult or objectionable. I'm not cueing you to think about them because the goal is for you to figure out a way to like them or forgive them for something. The people that we concentrate on are our meditation objects, and we concentrate on them because they fall into categories for us and they trigger an emotional response in us. And that's it. Our practice is to cultivate kindness and compassion within ourselves. And that's the practice. That's just the simplest way to put it. So when people are new to metta, the use of the term loving kindness often throws them a little bit into thinking that somehow we're trying to generate feelings of love or like for the people or person we're focusing on. And when we can't do it, we feel frustration or confusion just because we're stuck and we just can't do it. So the good news is we're not trying to do that. Our practice is to cultivate kindness and compassion within ourselves. And we do this by allowing ourselves to have enough time and space to discover what our feelings of kindness and compassion are So over time, kindness will arise regardless of who or what we encounter in our daily lives. The first step, though, is to feel what kindness feels like to us. So if you've shown up tonight like me and you've been perceiving a lot of unkindness in the world, and that's left you feeling some sort of way, maybe tonight it's important that we just start with reminding ourselves what kindness feels like inside our body. Sometimes it helps to refuel ourselves with kindness and compassion, like putting gas in the car or plugging it in, whatever you do, when kindness seems to be lacking in life. So we're able to go out in the world and meet whoever or whatever happens with our eyes wide open and a strong sense of our convictions wrapped in peacefulness rather than anger or hate. And we can come back to that later if you'd like. I would like, but we'll see how it goes. So let's begin our meditation tonight. Go ahead and get comfortable, and we'll get started. Find yourself a comfortable seated position. If you're in a chair, sit forward on the chair enough so that your feet are flat on the floor and your back is straight. If you need or want to put a cushion behind your back for support, feel free to get up and go ahead and do that now. If you are on a cushion or on the floor, try to sit so your knees are lower than your hips, and your back will then be more easily able to remain straight. Okay, let's get started. As we begin, if you'd like, you can gently close your eyes. If closing the eyes doesn't work for you, you're welcome to just direct your gaze downward, however it's comfortable for you. Just allow your vision to rest and be however it's going to be. There's no need to worry about focusing or unfocusing your vision. Just let it rest. Now, whether your eyes are open or closed, begin to bring your attention into your body and start to notice any areas where you're holding on to tension. Try to soften and release any tension you're holding on to. Allow your awareness to come all the way into your body and give yourself a minute to settle into this space, right here, right now. If you've noticed any areas of tension, try sending your next breath there to relax and release whatever you're holding on to. We'll start by taking 3 slow, deep breaths together. Breathing in through the nose, filling up your lungs with a slow, steady inhale, and breathing out, releasing all the air, slow and controlled. And once again, breathing in, filling up your lungs, and breathing out, releasing all the air. Last time. Inhale, fill up all the way to your collarbones, and release all the way down. And when you're ready, just return to the natural rhythm of your breath. Begin to gently notice the flow of your natural breath going in and out through the nostrils or in and out through the mouth. There's no need to modify your breath for the rest of the meditation. Just stay with your natural breath. Notice your posture. While remaining comfortable, try keeping the crown of your head reaching up toward the sky and your back straight and your shoulders relaxed. Pull them gently down away from your ears. Your chin can slightly tuck or tilt downward. And maybe take a second to release any tension you might be holding on to in your jaw. Whether your eyes are open or closed, come to notice the tiny muscles around your eyes. Relax your eyes. Relax your face. Now begin to remember a time when you looked at another person or an animal like your pet or maybe a baby or a loved one with love and kindness. Think of that memory, and as you recall this experience of a beloved person or animal, pay close attention and notice the sensations that arise in and around your eyes. Maybe those sensations give rise to feelings of warmth, softness, or tenderness. Maybe you can feel sensations of happiness or joy in all those tiny muscles around your eyes. See if you can let those feelings become established as you sit for a minute and recall this memory of your loved one. Now, staying with those feelings the best that you can, turn your attention back toward your whole body and see if those feelings of tenderness and warmth can fill your inner awareness of yourself as you gently allow your awareness to follow the sensations of your breathing, the beating of your heart, and the contact your body is making with your chair or cushion, the floor, and your clothing. When you're ready, keep your awareness within yourself and repeat to yourself in your mind at a pace and with enough space so it feels natural and comfortable for you. May I be filled with loving kindness and safe from inner and outer harm. May I be healthy in body and mind. May I live with peace and gratitude. May I be filled with loving kindness and safe from inner and outer harm. May I be healthy in body and mind. May I live with peace and gratitude. May I be filled with loving kindness and safe from inner and outer harm. May I be healthy in body and mind. May I live with peace and gratitude. Now slowly and gently begin to let go of your concentration of yourself and begin to bring to mind a person or a group of people that you care for deeply and that you find easy to like, or whose well-being is important to you. Maybe it's a friend or a group of people who have cared deeply for you. It can be anyone who easily brings up feelings of love, kindness, and ease. Just like you, they also want to feel safe, well, and at peace. Offer this kindness and support to your friend or loved ones, wishing them well by repeating to yourself, "May you be filled with loving kindness and safe from inner and outer harm. May you be healthy in body and mind. May you live with peace and gratitude. May you be filled with loving kindness and safe from inner and outer harm. May you be healthy in body and mind. May you live with peace and gratitude." May you be filled with loving kindness and safe from inner and outer harm. May you be healthy in body and mind. May you live with peace and gratitude. Now gently begin to let the image of your loved one go. And when you're ready, come to imagine someone or a group of people that you have neutral feelings for. Nothing strongly positive or negative. You don't have to know them well, and you don't even really have to know them at all. Maybe there's someone you see around sometimes, like a cashier at a store or a server at a restaurant. Maybe it's the person who is standing in line with you while you're waiting to pay for something. Or maybe they're a stranger you noticed in passing somewhere. Once you've located this person, remember that, like you, they are a being with perceptions and feelings. Their feelings and perceptions are as real and important to them as yours are to you. And like you, they want to feel safe and peaceful. Offer your kindness and support to them by repeating to yourself, may you be filled with loving kindness and safe from inner and outer harm. May you be healthy in body and mind. May you live with peace and gratitude. May you be filled with loving kindness and safe from inner and outer harm. May you be healthy in body and mind. And may you live with peace and gratitude. May you be filled with loving kindness and safe from inner and outer harm. May you be healthy in body and mind. May you live with peace and gratitude. And now gently begin to let your neutral person go. And begin to call to mind a person or a group of people that you find difficult or who bring up conflicting or negative feelings for you. Maybe there's someone close to you, like a family member or a loved one, with whom you're having a tough time right now. Maybe it's somebody you don't like, or a person or group of people who have done something to you or others that caused harm. Call them to mind and remember that being kind and compassionate does not mean that you approve of, allow, or tolerate what you find objectionable. Your kindness and compassion toward them does not lessen your opposition to what they believe, say, or do. And also try to remember that, like you, they are a person who has experiences and feelings. Offer kindness to them by repeating to yourself, may you be filled with loving kindness and safe from inner and outer harm. May you be healthy in body and mind. May you live with peace and gratitude. May you be filled with loving kindness and safe from inner and outer harm. May you be healthy in body and mind. May you live with peace and gratitude. May you be filled with loving kindness and safe from inner and outer harm. May you be healthy in body and mind. May you live with peace and gratitude. And now begin to let the difficult person go. And when you're ready, gently begin to expand your awareness outward and come to imagine all people, animals, and all sentient beings. This can be a little challenging, but sometimes if we listen, we can hear sounds that remind us of all the others in existence. Noises of traffic, planes overhead, people talking. Sometimes it's quiet, but people and animals will pop into our mind. We can allow our imagination to run, or we can sit comfortably in the awareness of all beings. Whatever comes to you can be filled with kindness and compassion as you offer. May all beings be filled with loving kindness and safe from inner and outer harm. May they be healthy in body and mind. May they live with peace and gratitude. May all beings be filled with loving kindness and safe from inner and outer harm. May they be healthy in body and mind. May they live with peace and gratitude. May all beings be filled with loving kindness and safe from inner and outer harm. May they be healthy in body and mind. May they live with peace and gratitude. Everybody survive that one? Welcome to you new people. That was a long one. It's a little different tonight. Those of you who have sat with me before know. Does anybody have any questions?
I don't have any question, but kind of comments the way I felt. I think I said this before, but I will say it again. I appreciate the way that you do meditation because your voice is very soothing. It helps me to calm myself, my body. But here's my problem. I think I'm able to feel my body in a very relaxed way and feel the benefits of the meditation physically. But when it comes to authentically sending love and kindness to every aspect of the meditation, that's what I have a problem because I feel like I can do it with my mind. And that's the easy way. So I can follow the directions and I'm doing it. But the problem is grasping the principle behind that, which means like I cannot authentically sense or feel my body, but my whole body, the principle of love and kindness to every stage of the meditation. And so, in a way, I feel like, yes, I'm doing it kind of halfway, or I feel like I'm doing it, it's also fake, because it's not real for me. So I'm not able to grasp to internalize and grasp the principles and actually send that love and kindness. However, like I said, I feel like I'm doing it fake because I just send them, I'm able only to get to the point of my mind, but not to the point of my whole body.
Mm-hmm.
But
Well,
still,
you're not
I'm still
alone.
coming.
Yeah, you're not alone. That's very common. It's like I said in the beginning, where it is incredibly difficult, especially in the beginning, to get yourself to send loving kindness, especially when you get to that difficult person. That's usually where people have the most trouble. Sometimes people actually have trouble sending it to themselves. but we do this to prime our bodies to feel these things. And when we keep doing it and we keep practicing, what ends up happening is that you're exercising that muscle, that kindness and compassion muscle. And over time, and you have to be very patient with yourself, but over time, what you'll find is that your body, because you've primed it, you're asking it to feel the feelings that you know you already have, right? For somebody that you care about, that one's easy for the most people. The neutral person, you're asking yourself to send the most genuine loving kindness feelings that you can to them, to kind of counteract feelings that we might have of indifference to people that we don't really have any sort of relationship or feelings about one way or the other. We tend to want to maybe just be a little bit indifferent if there's no connection there. And difficult people make us feel all kinds of ways. What's been helping me with that particular thing where things don't feel authentic. And by the way, if you ever get to a point in the meditation where you're just like, I have hit a brick wall, I'm stuck, this is annoying, I have to sit for like 2 whole minutes and I can't do it, you can always go back to yourself at any point in the meditation. If you're just not feeling it that day or whatever, you can just go back and give all that compassion to yourself. You're allowed to. That's why I say the practice is flexible. Rather than spend the time and the energy sitting there being frustrated or feeling like you're judging your practice, like, am I doing it right, or am I authentic, or am I really feeling it? Most people don't really feel it in the beginning, like all the way. Takes a little bit, takes a while. But what I would say is that our brains adapt to this kind of thinking and priming. And a couple weeks ago, I sat here and yammered on about all the mental and biochemical things that happen in your body when you do this kind of meditation. There's a lot of research about it. You can probably Google it and find all the information, but it does get easier. It does get easier to have your body respond with kindness, or at least not having things rise up, other types of emotions rise up so quickly in you. And if they do arise, they don't stay that long. They tend to, like if you're having an interaction with somebody and they're just pissing you off, you might start to feel angry, and you'll recognize that you're starting to feel angry. And then that awareness of the fact that you're feeling angry is different than just feeling the anger. Does that make sense? So you can be reactive to situations in life where things just happen and then they're inside your body and they're boiling over, and then your mind starts to go, and the next thing you know, you're ticked. You're like really mad. If you become aware of your perceptions of what's happening, that sometimes gives you that extra bit of space to be aware of it. It's not that you don't feel it. It's not that you don't recognize it for what it is. It's just that the awareness of the perception gives you a tiny bit of space to maybe let it be there, but not consume the entirety of the inside of your body. Does that make sense to you? Does that help a little bit? Or did I just make it worse? This is not an easy practice. It's not, we're not just sitting here thinking warm fuzzies and kind of faking our way through it. It actually begins to change the way that you interact with everything that happens out there. And right now, that's why I said in the beginning, like, I don't know if you're like me, coming in here feeling all sorts of ways about a lot of stuff that's going on out there right now. And it's not an easy practice to continue when you're filled with rage or outrage. I just sat a couple of days ago with Derwin and a couple other people, and I was talking about this. It's been coming up a lot, actually. And that's like how to meet my perceptions of what's happening in life with kindness and compassion when what I feel actually is outrage. And it's been one of the biggest challenges for me. I started to look at it. And I think that this, for me, is the key to being able to interact with the world a little more mindfully. And what I mean by that is, like, when things occur or people behave in ways that give rise in me to anger or outrage, I feel it inside my whole body. And I think a lot of people do. It's that like hot, uncontrolled feeling that starts to build. And then the next thing you know, your mind is racing. And then after that, you're putting out into the world more of the same anger and frustration and icky, bad stuff that's already there. And so, there's a lot of people who practice who really truly believe that there are ways to interact with that without adding to it. And I guess that's kind of the point. At first, when I experienced it being different, I thought, well, maybe I'm just traumatized. I'm not feeling like I'm numb. You know what I mean? Instead of getting mad, I realized not that long ago that I was experiencing it, but I wasn't like losing my marbles. And I thought, oh, great. Now I'm just numb. They got me. But you know what? I don't think I'm numb because I'm still seeing everything for exactly what it is. I mean, things are happening, right? People are being horrible, whatever it is. I still have my perceptions of it. I don't agree with it, don't condone it. But what stopped that perception that triggered outrage from being rage, like in me, like we call that being enraged. And so when outrage goes inside your body and lives, then you're enraged. And I didn't want to be enraged anymore. And I kind of like that because I'm actually an editor. And so like the word play was kind of fun for me, even though it's not spelled I-N, that shift was really interesting to me. And so, our brains have to process everything that's happening around us. And we get those perceptions, and that's the material our brain has to work with, right? We perceive what's going on and our brain does what it does. And we have thoughts and we have feelings about it. And so that little bit of space, when I became aware of the fact that I was experiencing outrage, just the awareness of that perception gave me enough space to not become enraged in here. It just kind of tamped it down just a tiny little bit. And so I feel like we don't have to have our bodies filled with anger. And, they say that's how engaged Buddhism works. That's the thing. Because I kept saying, how do these people do it? They go and they march, or they go and they, we got people walking across, the monks are walking across the country right now from Texas to Washington, D.C. And they're interacting with all kinds of suffering. And that yet they're not suffering. They meet the suffering or the anger or the outrage with peacefulness. And so you're not adding back into the world more suffering. You're meeting it with peacefulness and loving kindness. So that blind reaction that your mind does, when it causes that whole cascade of emotional stuff that just consumes your whole body, that sort of just gets a lot calmer. And so thank you for bringing all that up, because I know that this is what I've been sitting with. And I know in the beginning of practice, you really try to have authentic feelings rise up. And sometimes, we let things arise, and when they don't, we just become aware of it. We just notice it. And that's you getting to know how your mind works. over the course of your practice. We have like a few minutes. Is anybody else sitting with anything? Yep.
When should I choose what type of meditation to do? Like today we did some guided meditation.
Mm-hmm.
Usually when I'm on my own, I do a silent meditation.
Mm-hmm.
My thoughts are racing. I have calm moments, and then my thoughts race, and then calm moments. Which one should I choose? Is there any difference? I'm kind of don't know.
Well, I think you should try them all, honestly. My main practice has always been a silent Zen practice. And I started doing metta meditation, and I felt kind of uncomfortable with it in the beginning. It just felt weird, it felt awkward to me. But I just kept doing it, and I realized that the two practices for me kind of complement each other. So there's a lot of choices. There's a lot of different kinds of meditation. You can sit in zazen silently. You can try metta. There's Tibetan practices, Tonglen. I mean, there's just simple guided meditations. So if you kind of like hybrid,
Can I do a meditation that I try to guide myself into my thoughts? Like try to do a route that I teach myself where to go?
you can. I think maybe in the beginning, I don't know how long you've been meditating, but in the beginning, it's kind of more important to just try to sit. The guided meditations are a nice sort of easy way in because you've got somebody else's voice to listen to. But until you have kind of a really good feeling for how your own mind works and just focusing and anchoring on your breath, everybody's mind races, right? You can bring your mind back to the anchoring on a mantra or on your breath a million times, and nobody knows how many times that you are doing that. It's only you. That's the good news. And it really doesn't matter how many times you do that. The more you are able to do that, you're exercising that muscle to be able to focus and kind of ground yourself. And so you're going to have to just maybe try a few things and see what feels right, and then make up your own mind. But I wouldn't go down a rabbit hole of trying to do a guided meditation for yourself necessarily right away. It might make it a little bit more difficult. I mean, you're asking your brain to do a lot of things. Derwin has a very strong Zen practice. He can tell you, that's Derwin over there. He can tell you how important it is to get that nice solid base of being able to sit and breathe. And if your mind wanders, bring it back. And when your mind wanders, bring it back. And it's normal that your mind is going to wander. Your mind is doing what minds are supposed to do. It's thinking.
I think you have to start with a guided meditation, because that's where you're going to learn how to do the different things. And then once you learn, you can apply those to it differently. You can't sit in silent meditation unless you really know what you're doing. Because you don't just sit and you need to learn to go to guide first. And then you can branch out into different things.
Just see how your mind does. And it's going to be different every day that you sit. It'll be completely different depending upon, a lot of factors. How hungry, tired, stimulated, whatever it is.
Yeah. Every meditation is different.
Mm-hmm.
Every time you sit down, you can have a different experience.
But it doesn't hurt to try stuff. And when he says try a guided meditation, he means try a guided silent meditation, like Jeff does Saturday mornings and Tuesday night. Those are simple guided silent meditations where you're not asked to repeat things in your head. You're just sitting, and then every once in a while, somebody will remind you to come back if you've wandered off or fallen asleep. Yeah. Anybody got anything else before we close tonight? We good? Who's doing the I'm going to do a dedication of Meredith tonight, and then who's doing the announcements? You are. Oh, Anna is. Okay. All right. If you're comfortable, please bring your palms to heart center. May the benefit of this practice be transferred to all beings in all directions. May all beings be at peace and free from suffering. May any merit gained from this practice be transferred to Naomi during her time of rebirth, and to her family and friends and loved ones who grieve at this time. Thanks, everybody. Come on up, girl.
Hello, everyone. I'm a little slow tonight. We opened the Dharma Temple 18 years ago to introduce Buddhist practice to those who show up. Those who lead are not nuns, love schoolers, masters, or teachers, and are not looking for students. They are simply practitioners sharing their interpretation of the practice. Every night we have different classes led by different people from various Buddhist traditions. We have recovery sangha that meets several times a week for anyone with addiction, and our food redistribution program is every Thursday at 4:30 p.m. We have classes and programs every day. Everything we offer here is always free. Full schedule is on our website and also posted in the entryway above the shoe rack. We have a lending library. If you see a book you like, feel free to borrow it and then bring it back whenever you are done with it. Please straighten your seat or cushion before you head out. I think we mostly close the windows, but if a few people could just take an eye on the windows to help me close them, that would be very helpful. Thank you for being here. We wish you well and hope to see you all again. Thank you.